Good morning, rise and shine. Happy Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. Come on in, like, share, and subscribe. Come on in, join me on this Tuesday episode of Car Chronicles. Got a lot to talk about. I'm feeling more optimistic about the state of our country, so I want to talk about it. Come on in. I want to see how you all feel about how the direction that the U.S. is going is. We've definitely experienced some bumpy roads, but I've called it tough times for a while. Tough times. What I called it, it was something I would say growing pains. That's what I would call it, growing pains. Come on in. Is the U.S. starting to get some type of relief? Come on in. Let's talk. Let's talk. President Trump says it's time to equalize the nation. Listen, we want to be this on the same playing field when it comes to pricing as other nations. Come on in. Good morning. Come on in, like the video, double tap the screen, like the video. We're going to talk about some things. Come on in. Are you here for Trump? Um, the direction he's trying to go, the direction he's trying to take this country. He's like, I don't know if equalize is a word, but I feel like that's what it's about. We're equalizing, just we're coming to a place to where what he's trying to do is just he wants us to be equal when it comes to pricing on things such as medicine, prescriptions. He wants us to basically receive the same type of low rate pricings as other countries. Come on in. I've talked about it before where there's other countries like India where you can go over there and get the prescriptions almost like dirt cheap or some of them even free, but not in the USA. Well, that's changing. That is changing very, very quickly. Um, President Trump said it's a new day. He said it is a new day, and I'm here for it when it comes to saving the American people money. However, because times are hard for many, many people, and I've heard many people talk about the struggles with being able to afford prescription medication. They like, listen, Sheik, I ain't got it. I know I need these arthritis pills. My blood pressure is through the roof, but I ain't got it. I don't have the money to pay for prescriptions plus feed the family. Listen, I got to make a choice. I have to make a choice. And sometimes that choice has been costly to people's lives as they've had to make the choice of putting the money towards medication or putting food on the table, taking care of their children, all of that. I've shared those stories on this channel before. If you are new to my channel, definitely subscribe, like, share, subscribe. But I talk about a lot of things that aren't widely talked about in the media as it pertains to just politics and what we're seeing take place. Because a lot of the big networks, they can only kind of talk about things in a certain way. You know, you'll take notice that they may push a certain narrative. So these journalists, these reporters, they work for these big networks. So if they want to keep their job, they have to speak on things the way that network wants them to speak on them. Listen, this is a thing. It is a thing. I'm just calling it out. This is what we see. This is what we see out here. So on the flip side, like when you have content creators like myself who don't work for these big networks, you may have taken notice that we speak a little different, or maybe a lot different. I know I speak a lot differently than other people. I call the good, the bad, the ugly. Listen, I voted for Trump, but I definitely a lot, especially lately. Been talking about the shenanigans that I have not been here for. So today, I really want to say for the first time in like weeks, I feel like there are some things that I can come out here and talk about from a positive, that has me feeling uh, better about my vote. That don't mean tomorrow he ain't gonna get the business down. That don't mean that. But what I do, I share my opinions based off the different things that I see taking place. So just because I rock with somebody don't mean that I rock with all everything that they give. I just don't. I don't. That's just with anybody. So if something ain't, if I'm like, listen, that's dumb, that I need to understand why we doing that, I'm gonna pose that question. I'm gonna talk about it. And so double tap the screen for me. I got one like and 50 people. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. So President Trump, I was listening as I was getting ready for this live and this car chronicle. I was listening to his the meeting that or the he did a press conference yesterday at the Oval Office, or somewhere in the White House. He did a press conference and he talked about a lot of things, and the highlights for me was the conversation centered around big pharma, prescription drugs. And that's why I put in my title Equalize, because he kept using that word. And he was like, yo, I don't know if it's a word or not, but I feel like that's just what we're doing, because it's just not good that we can literally go anywhere else in this world and be guaranteed to find prescriptions that we have access to in the US cheaper everywhere else. Like, not only a couple places, like literally everywhere else. He was like, the US is like 4% of the world population, but the vast majority of the sales from big pharma comes from the US. Y'all think about that. How we only 4%, but we're funding the whole, what do you want to call it, the whole empire, damn near. Like, most of the funds, the revenue, the earnings, the money that big pharma makes, it comes from the USA. And so he was like, he met with somebody or whatever, I guess they're from the big pharma side, and he said they had like a 30-minute conversation and about like, what is this? And the guy was trying to convince Trump, like, oh well, it pays for research and all of that. He's talking about, okay, well, don't Europe need research too? Like, make it make sense. You said, so we got to pay for the research? Is that what you saying? We got to pay for the research. Ain't nobody else got to pay for the research. We got to pay for the research. Stop it, I say. He said after 30 minutes of that back and forth, they were like, okay, you got me, you got me. They knew it was some dang on bull. They knew it was some nonsense. But listen, people will try you and play in your face as long as you allow them to. Y'all know that's true. People will try you and play in your face as long as you allow them to. So forever, people who have been in office have allowed for other places, other nations to try us and play in our face. And listen, a lot of times people will stick you with a price if they see that you're gonna pay for it. Like, if they see you gonna pay for it, they're like, all right then, well, fine, all right then, well, let me try this. So I'm gonna charge $100 for it and see if they gonna pay. Oh, bet they paying. Whereas other nations were like, no sir, no ma'am. So they were, forced to lower their pricing to some realistic prices, and so in order to do business with those other countries. But medical industry, well, if you don't lower this, then we're not going to sell your product. So it's a new day today. He was like, these prescriptions have lowered upwards of 90%, y'all. 90%. Now, many of you, a lot of y'all out here, because we in America and half of y'all take prescription medication on a regular. I fortunately don't. That is not my story now or ever. And I hope that never be my story. But those of you who do rely on some type of prescription medication to be filled every month or however frequently, take notice of the rate change. Take notice. Make a mental note of how much you're paying now versus now what you're going to be paying. I'm not quite sure when exactly these rate changes are going to go into effect, but they are coming very soon. Oh, and he said, while I'm at it, Obamacare is a hot mess. Listen, I had to make it do what it do in the first term because hell, it was there. It was either scrap it and we not have nothing for a while, so I had to just make it do what it do. But he was like, the days of trying to make ish smell good is over. So they are going to try to create a new medical plan for people. So it would basically replace the Obamacare, whatever y'all call it these days, because I ain't never used it. So whatever y'all out there calling it, he working on replacing it with something else, something better. Because he was like, what's the point of still trying to make something work that just really ain't the best? So why not just create something that's just better? So that's what he's saying that he's going to work on next. That's on his agenda. But for now, he was like, he has a friend. He told a story how he has a friend who's like a fat guy and a really rich guy, but happens to be fat. And he takes, I don't know if he on Ozempic or whatever, but he take one of them drugs that the people that's big that be taking to try to lose weight. Y'all know some they be getting shots. Y'all know. Don't act like some of y'all ain't took that stuff that's on this live. But whatever that medication is, he said his friend who was a fat guy went to like Europe and the medicine it was like $80 for the shot or whatever it was that he was taking, but he's like, in New York, it's like $1,300 and it's the same exact medicine, same package, everything. It's just that the sticker price in the US is 1,300, for him in New York. And then when he was over in Europe, it was $80. He was like, President, we need to talk. What the freak is going on? What is going on? I know I got loan money, but I told y'all, just because people got a lot of money don't mean that they don't watch where their money is going. People with a lot of money be the main ones penny pitching. Y'all ever notice that? The people that's getting to the money be like, damn, they cheap as hell. Because they listen, that's why they got money. They know they know where everything is going. It's the ones that ain't got no money that be just losing it all. Don't know where it went. You like, damn, I'm broke again. I don't even know where it went. Y'all know some of y'all done said that. You like, I don't even know where I spend it. But a rich person ain't finna say that. I bet you on any given day, Trump know where all his money is going. I remember years ago, Oprah said, listen, she didn't let no checks go out the door without her signature on it. She said, you have to watch your money. How many times we heard rich people talking about they had these financial advisors wasn't paying no taxes, wasn't doing nothing. So they later down the line get tapped on the shoulder about some stuff that wasn't getting taken care of that they thought was getting taken care of. But no, it wasn't. It wasn't because they entrusted their finances fully in the hands of someone else. So I remember just as a young girl, just remember hearing Oprah say, no, like you got to know where your money is. Like you have to know. So this big guy who was taking, I don't know if he's taking Ozempic or whatever. He was like, listen, they letting Ozempic go for $80 in Europe. They letting it go for $80. I don't understand why I got to pay $1,300 in New York. I don't care what my bank account look like. That is irrelevant in this moment. That is irrelevant. So I don't know if that conversation got Trump like, you know what, because Trump is like his friend come like, I'm fat. Trump like, yes you are, yes you are, but he like, shit, help me, I'm trying to do something about it, but can you give me some relief on these shots? And you give me some relief on these shots. So y'all, baby, folks, everybody finna be running around here looking skinny. Because if they gonna start letting those Ozempic shots go for about $80, $40, shit. Everybody finna have that Obama snatch waist. Watch. That's anybody who got that snatch waist. I say you got that Obama waist. Y'all know Obama waist like this. I like you got that Obama waist. Everybody finna have that Obama waist. If they get that Ozempic down to about $80 for, because a lot of people don't take the Ozempic because they can't afford it, and insurance isn't going to cover it if you're not taking it for like what it initially y'all was intended for, diabetes. Y'all, it wasn't supposed to be out there for no weight. It was supposed to be helping to manage the diabetes for the big folks. But then Listen, the first time I heard about it is when the Kardashians and them and all of them in Hollywood, they started running around taking it. The sick folks was out here now just getting sicker because the rich folks then went and took the doggone medicine because they done learned you could F around and get skinny, get fine up out here with the doggone diabetes medicine. So you got the people over here who damn trying to live, they can't get the medicine because the people over here that's trying to get fine, fine so they can go to Dubai and ride on some camel's back. They done took all the medicine. Welcome to America. This is America. This is America. This is America. So now he was like, you know what? The cheapest price that any other nation that was paying for medicine, he was like, that's the rate we want. That's what so you know how that somebody come to you, well, how much you willing to pay? Well, how much, what's the lowest that you selling your product right now for? Um, well, we selling it for $10 right here. All right, I want that rate then. Like he was like, yo, like equalize, word of the day, class, equalize. He was like, that's the rate I want. He was like, right now, every other, had been paying upwards of 10 times more than other nations when it has come to prescription medication, prescription drugs. That's insane. And I remember he said that we were only 4% of just the total population, but we were paying 10 times. Talk about price gouging. Because they were like, well, y'all American, y'all be flexing, y'all be sending cash apps and Zelles for trillions of dollars for wars and stuff. So yeah, y'all can pay the money. Like I said, people will try you. They will present you something, and it's up to you if you're going to accept it. Because if you accept it, guess what? They're gonna keep coming back to you with the nonsense. Lesson learned. That's just with anything, but we learning this lesson just from the pharmaceutical industry. But that's just people, period. They will try you. You got to stop them dead in their tracks. You got to stop them dead in their tracks. So therefore, they already know, you playing with the wrong one. We don't play them games over here. We do not play them games over here. And nobody ever said that before until now. He was like, Biden was just like, okay, and he was just paying the rates. And then they trying to sell us on, oh, well, yeah, the extra money is going towards research. How is going towards research and people still dying and y'all still talking about y'all looking for a cure for cancer? Have any of y'all ever wondered how we got AI popping off? We got flying. We got cars that's about to be flying. I done told y'all about the coming flying taxis, but we still don't have a cure out here for cancer. Now, let me, the cures that we do hear about, y'all, that's underground conversation. I'll call that underground conversation, the conversations that's had that's outside of mainstream media. The underground conversations that were centered around the conversations that's had to say, if you go over to Honduras, you can really get healed from that. If you go elsewhere, why can't we get that here in the U.S.? But we got AI that's doing, we got AI doing term papers, doing every grade school student homework, all the college students homework. We can get to and figure out all of that. We got cars that's driving by itself, but we still in the lab trying to figure out a cure for cancer. If you don't stop playing in my face, what you're not going to do is play in my face and act like the answers aren't here. No, it's more beneficial for these industries to say that they're still working towards finding a solution, because that's how they can continue to charge. So you got to peep game. Listen, you ain't gonna hear this on Fox or CNN, because the way I be talking, like told y'all, I'll be fired. They be like, Sheik, come here. Now, didn't we tell you that you can't be? Listen, Linda, listen. I done told y'all when I came up in here that I'm going to talk my talk and I'm going to tell the truth. If you can't handle it, I'm going back to YouTube. So this is why I am over here with y'all and not on mainstream media, because they be playing games. They be trying to play in your face. And you cannot make me believe y'all got the answers. Y'all sending people, y'all trying to convince us women, look, what, a month ago just did winning 2 steps on the moon, went to the universe, but you still telling me that you ain't got a cure for cancer? Oh, okay. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Don't play with us. Don't play with me, play with your mama. I'm not buying it. Y'all playing games. Y'all playing games. Let's see how fast the cure gonna come for cancer once these prices get cut. Because the gig is over with. Now that we now going to, be paying lower prices, let's see how resourceful these companies, these places going to be getting where they start hollering about, oh, we done finally figured it out. Say it ain't so. Oh, you done finally figured it out after you stopped being able to continue to make billions of dollars of people the way you've been. Now you saying you got the answer, you got the cure. Oh, okay. You got the cure underneath Trump's watch, but oh, you didn't have it under Obama or Biden's watch. But we got the cure today. Oh, okay. See, y'all playing games. Y'all be talking crazy. These people be talking crazy out here, and I be peeping games. That's why I be coming out here with my notes, and I be talking my talk, because these people out here, these rich folks, politicians, these journalists, they just they say whatever, but I be breaking it down, because this ish don't make sense. It doesn't make sense. This is the hustle. It's like everybody, to me, I feel like the US is like the catch-all. Like, we gotta just get it. We gotta be everybody's saviors, like Captain Save-A-Hole. Like, we ain't E40. We is not E40. I rock with E40, but we are not E40. I am not Pusha T. Why I gotta damn save everybody? While still you talking about, I'm gonna need for you to seek to put something on these student loans. With what? My looks? With what? How am I still how am I gonna put something on that trillions of dollar debt when you still got people coming over here spending the money? Y'all playing. Y'all playing with me. Stop playing with me on this Taco Tuesday. Y'all playing with me. You telling me last week, oh, Cinco de Mayo is going to hit different. I'm going to need for you to put something on this bill. But then a week later on Monday, you got an influx of white South Africans coming in. You're about to get that Section 8 that you trying to take. Because y'all know Section 8. Listen, this man said, listen, federal government, we are not funding Section 8. What's going to be funding these white South Africans' livelihood? These same federal government programs that Trump is snatching from from the people that's here, or from the illegal immigrants that he's trying to get up out of here. So they're just getting replaced with a new set. Y'all wash, rinse, and repeat. The same resources that the Hispanic community or anybody else who was over here illegally that he just snatched up and threw in a detention center and waiting on spirit flights to go wherever they gonna go, that same money, you all, it's no longer going to be a savings, because it's just being reallocated to another group of people. Have y'all noticed that? There's about 50 of them that rolled up in here yesterday. They was on the news having their debut. Y'all might have seen them. Babies, they all age, the whole generations. That grandmama, auntie, uncle, the toddler, everybody came. Everybody came over on that flight. I don't know what plane brought them over. Everybody came on that flight. That's just the first flight. They got flued out. On who dollar, y'all? Let's talk about whose dollar did they get flued out on. Some of y'all probably like, Sheik, I ain't never been flued out nowhere. I ain't never been flued out nowhere. Well, they got flued out to the US of A yesterday. These people about to get housing. They're about to get food. They're about to get clothing, necessities for the babies, diapers, all of that. They getting everything that the Hispanic community, when they came over, what they were getting. This new group of people is getting that. Yo, but let me throw something on there that they're getting that the other ones didn't get. Not only did they come over here, they get flued out, y'all. Not only did they get flued out, they're also getting first they get to skip the line in the process to get citizenship. So they get that fast track to citizenship. Y'all know that little track, that little process that normally take years. Hell, if you talking about you a refugee, that's not an overnight process to where you can come over here because you say you're a refugee. That can take years. You listen, they like, you got to prove to me that them folks after you. You need to prove to me that somebody that hit you upside your head, somebody that took your cookies. We need proof. Where are the witnesses? With this group, listen, these groups just said, listen, Trump, they out here are using and abusing us white folks. You know this ain't how it's supposed to be, President Trump. You know it's not how it's supposed to be. And now they damn here. The Africans said he ain't MF and lie. We ain't how we doing that when they still they're still primarily the ones running ish over here in this country. Like, how, Sway? The math ain't mathing. Y'all, let me put it let me reel it in. That's like y'all, some people people over in the US running over to Europe talking about the black folks. Because remember, we about 12%, 13%. Y'all, that number ain't never really went above 15 that I ever took notice of. That's like the people, the white folks going over to Europe talking about, we got to get out the USA because the black folks, they taking our stuff. They doing this, they doing that. How, Sway? How? With our numbers, if you don't shut up, that's what it's giving. Like, it doesn't make sense. What do you mean, white man, that the black people are taking your stuff? When I'm looking at the stats, y'all still the bigger population. Y'all still get into the money. Y'all still hold the highest positions. Y'all still, the white man still makes the most of the money. But just because a couple of them then got knocked upside the head and got socked in the eye or something, they done ran to somebody, and now everybody is now being accused of doing that, and there's attack on, say, the white group because something popped off with a couple of people. That is the equivalent of what's taking place. It's the numbers. The numbers don't support the argument. And them South Africans, Trump did say that the people, the officials, I'm not quite sure what leader who's going to come over from South Africa to talk to President Trump, but he will be meeting with them because they said that's a lie. They, first of all, y'all, the Afrikaneers, however you say the name, Afrikaneers, I think it's Afrikaneers. So those are white South Africans. Their background is Dutch, British, Dutch, white folks. They're only 7% of the population there. There's 7% of the population there. The South Africa is about 80% of black, but it's still the vast majority of the wealth and the money and everything is still in the hands of the white man, the white one, the white person. Again, make the math ain't mathing for it to be that dire of a situation. And if they are struggling and getting busted up, knocked upside the head, whatever you saying, getting land taken or whatever, why can't they go through the same process that somebody from another country saying, well, hell, somebody over here trying to take my cookies, essaying me, whatever. You still make them have to wait and go through a process to be able to come over. You're not saying, oh, okay, here you go, your flight ticket, you leave out tomorrow at 2 o'clock. It's still a process that these people got to go through to come over here. Why can't these same white South Africans go through that same process? But y'all know I'm not the only one asking these questions, asking all them questions. There are a lot of people asking these questions, and y'all know the largest one, the biggest group that's asking these questions is the ones that look like him. Them white folks pissed off, y'all. They like, oh, hell no. There is one church that be helping the refugees. They was like, we ain't helping them. We are not helping them. I think it gotta be a white church going off a name, y'all, because it wasn't nothing that said Church of God in Christ or Method, y'all. You know the black church, something with African something. No, I got it written down on my notes. There was a church that said, we ain't helping them. No, we're not. We're not. And we do not want to be a part of the program to work with the government. We're helping to provide resources. We okay if we got to lose funding, but this ish ain't right. This ish ain't right. Y'all know when you piss off them doggone white folks here, it ain't nothing like pissing off a Karen or a David. It's real different when you piss off the whites. They like, oh hell, because y'all know these whites I be trying to save. They be now that's the real Captain Save Ho. They be trying to save and feed the hungry. Y'all know these white folks are oh no, oh no, this They done pissed Karen and David the hell off. Y'all better get into it. They out here talking. They are heated. They are the ones who are giving them the smoke, not the ones that look like me. I'm on YouTube talking to y'all, but them ones that's out there in front of the cameras talking, they talk on the picket line with their signs. They don't look like me. They do not look like me. They are out there cussing him out. They got lawsuits going against him, talking about First of all, how back early in February you said we ain't got no money for no immigrants. We ain't got no money. That's why everybody got to leave. We ain't got it. Trump is on his Tasha K. He might as well put a T-shirt on when he was in the White House signing, the executive orders. He was like, we ain't got it. The states ain't got it. The feds ain't got it. We do not have the money, the resources to fund the lives of these non-citizen people. We don't have it. Then, just as quick as he said that, he signed an emergency executive order where, okay. Well, we ain't got it for them. But these white South Africans, they get knocked upside the head and they land taken. They in distress. They are in distress, and we can't have that. We cannot have that. They got to come over here ASAP. I know what I said. Never mind what I said, because y'all know Trump will hit you with that. He gonna say some ish, and then he gonna. I don't worry about that. What I'm saying right now is that they need to come over here because it ain't safe over there. It ain't safe over there. They over there taking them people land. It ain't safe. I need for them to come here right now. We needs to get them out of there. We needs to get them out of there. So that's what happened. They got flued out. I told y'all over the weekend they was coming. Some of y'all probably didn't even know. Y'all better follow me. Over the weekend, I said, y'all, I think I did that on my Sunday Night Live. I said, y'all, tomorrow, the first flight, they saying that it was 2 dozen of them. It was like 50. And here, peep this, you all, it's going to be in the thousands. There's tens of thousands that are lined up, you all, that's already put their name on that list. Y'all, this list probably gonna be just as long as that Section 8 list that's over here in the USA. Y'all know that Section 8 list that people be waiting outside in the line for and waiting on paper in the system in line for years? Well, this is given the new Section 8 list. Them people that raised their hand and said, yo, like, what's up? Just say when virtuous, Dr. J, almost awesome mods. Good morning, everybody. Like the video. It's given Section 8. This is the new Section 8 list. In South Africa, if you want to come over, if you white, and so you didn't claim somebody that knocked you upside your head, listen, this is the list. It's the new Section 8 list. This is the list. You got to get on the list. So it's tens of thousands of people who have already expressed interest and put themselves on this list. The Trump administration have not released yet how many people, the numbers, but there's people who have put out there that it's going to be in the thousands. And when they come, they will be working, doing a lot of agricultural type work and job. Because remember, they had land. They was farmers, so they know a little something. Let them come over here and don't know ish about no farming. I'm gonna be done. If them people like what we need, what I'm supposed to do. I done told you what the group of the people look like. It was, I don't know what a farmer's supposed to look like, but listen, that's what they said. I had some land. I'm a farmer. So we gonna see if they gonna be able to grow something. But like I said, I seen kids from listen, it looked like a family reunion. And the only thing that was missing is they just didn't have matching t-shirts. Y'all know how when we have our family reunion, we all, we just deep wherever random place that we at because we all together. That's how they look, but they just didn't have the coordinated t-shirts. But they look like multi-generation, like it was a family reunion type situation. So to me, this given the new Section 8, because another update I have is that Trump is like, yo, with this Section 8, the federal government, we don't need to fund this anymore. We ain't got it. Listen, state, you handle it. But even though you handle it, we still want to have a say to an extent. For example, y'all probably know some people who've been on Section 8 all their life, not part of their life, all their life. Trump, like, you know what? We gonna change that. So when it comes to Section 8, this is something that has been proposed. It hasn't been approved yet. When it comes to Section 8, he wants to give priority to the elderly and the disability. So that's first and foremost. The elderly and the disability, he wants to prioritize them. Everybody else will fall in line after that. But here's the next thing. If you are approved for Section 8, child, that is only for 2 years. You got 24 months to get your life all the way together. All the way together. You got 2 years to get your life all the way together. Because in my Lauren Hill, ready or not, here I come. You still finna be outside in 2 years. And y'all know in them 2 years, inflation don't stop because your Section 8 voucher is in place. No, inflation is still taking place. while you in your Section 8 house. So when you get out 2 years later, if you can afford the rent 2 years prior at that whatever job that you was working at, you felt like that only allotted you to have subsidized housing. Well, in 2 years, you're gonna have you three jobs: Piggly Wiggly, Walmart, and Dollar General. You're gonna have to listen. The math gonna have to start mathing, because he said all I got for you is 2 years. Remember, in Florida, Ron DeSantis said he signed the bill saying kids can work at 14. They finna be on something. Well, listen, everybody in the house need a job. Everybody, everybody got to carry their weight. So this is when you really finna see it, to where young kids are out here working, and it's in particular in Florida, because that's right now the only state that I know of that had passed such law, where before it was like, usually like when I was in school, like you couldn't work past like 9 or something like that. Governor Ron DeSantis, he signed a bill for the Floridians for it to be legal for children as young as 14 years old to work overnight shifts. So if the parents are okay with it, then only got Section 8 for 2 years. For 2 years, you will be back out there. That's the majority of the people in the USA. So the pro to that is, okay, more people are going to be able to experience having subsidized living. But the con is, okay, can you really get yourself together to be able to afford to pay market rate rent in 2 years when you got children and all of that? Probably not. Probably not. Because most people, like, if you got you a good decent paying job, you're going to be on that job. You go to apply for job housing and stuff, they want to see stability, that you've been on a job, for a good length of time. So if your job, which you've been working, don't pay enough, or you didn't get that much of an increase in those 2 years to warrant you to be able to pay full price for housing, Houston, we got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. 2 years is not enough to change your life like that with your finances, as for a big, as a collective. Like some people, in 2 years they can get something on and popping, but the average person is going in 2 years to really receive a significant pay increase. And so when I learned about that, and then learning about the white South Africans coming, I'm like, well, hell, he gotta make up, basically create. He has to find a way to be able to make sense of the money and the resources and things that's going to be needed to be used for this new group of people. So to me, it's just given that he's reallocating things. He's reallocating the funds, the resources, and all of that. Because remember, we got this big debt. So he was like, all right, well, out with the old, in with the new. Y'all get off of these federal, these state, these benefits, and we're gonna let some other people use these benefits. So really, are we really impacting the debt like that? Okay, well, yes. I mean, with the people he said y'all gotta leave, as of right now, is far more people than who he allowed to come in yesterday. But I said that was just the first flight. There are more flights to come. There are more flights to come. They're coming. They are coming, and they're going to need jobs. So we talk about these layoffs. Nissan announced they're doing a big layoff. They're laying off 20,000 people. Half of the people is going to be in Japan. They said their biggest market, which is, I think, China and US, the two countries that's been going back and forth at it. They're like, their sales are down in those two markets, and those are their bigger markets. So they got to let go. This is Nissan. They have to let go like 20,000 people globally. Panasonic I think that was the name, Panasonic. They're also letting go about 10,000 workers as well. So the layoffs are still happening. We got people still coming into the country, and the debt's growing. And in the meantime, the federal government is asking Americans, when you finna pay down this debt. Because please believe that the people who just arrived yesterday, the debt that's steady growing, they're not going to be held responsible for any of that. So all this money, the resources and all of that, they're coming in and they're able to utilize these resources, but They have no responsibility to the debt that's continuing to grow. Us American citizens, that's our debt. That is our debt. But much of that debt that's our debt isn't money, isn't as a result of money that was spent on us. A lot of that is a result of money that was spent on other nations, other countries, other people, probably the vast majority of it. But or at least a lot of it, we gonna say a lot of it, but though we're the ones to where we gotta have be a part of the come to Jesus meeting, where we gotta talk about, well, how we finna get this debt down, as the rich and the powerful continue to find ways to spend it on people that's not Americans. We don't vote. We don't get to vote on things like that when a country is at war, and their Ukraine was at war and they needed money to fund that. Biden didn't like send out no survey monkey talking about, y'all, okay, give me y'all vote. Y'all here for us, helping them out and funding this war. Like, no. But we get the conversation centered around the debt. All right, everyone, listen up, buttercups. We got this debt. It's 36 trillion. It's growing. 36.22. The last I checked, it's growing. So we have to talk about how we're going to get it down. So we get that conversation. Also, we also get the denial when we need these resources that we pay into the housing. Oh yeah, the list. Yeah, I'm sorry. The housing, the EBT card. Yeah, I mean, well, you make too much money. Like, we're constantly getting told no. But people who come over here who are not citizens, however they came over here, they get a yes. And some people argue that, well, with the white South Africans, they're coming over the right way. Well, to me, what I classify as the right way is when an existing administration give them the okay to come. Let me repeat. What I classify is the right way when an existing administration give them the okay to come. So the white South African got flued out over here. So that means they came over here with approval, just like a lot of the illegal immigrants who were over here. The Trump administration gave them the approval, and many of them came over here on planes. What's the difference? One administration approved brown people and one administration approved white people. Both of them approved people. Both of them approved people in an unfair way. Both of them approved people that wasn't along the guidelines that we have written as to how to get citizenship and things like that. So both of them was doing the absolute most. Let's call a thing a thing. Both was doing the absolute most. It's just that one was doing it for one group of people, and one was doing it for another group of people. But they both was out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order. And I told you, Karen and David out here talking about he out of order. Y'all, these people are upset. They were like, oh yes, I'm about to go amend this lawsuit that already got filed against you because you said we ain't had no money to be feed no extra mouths, but here it is. You got your Elon Musk first, second, third, fourth, and fifth cousins coming over here, and now suddenly we got enough money to fund their lives. Where did the money come from, sir? Where did this money come from? This that stuff I be talking about where I say I don't always be here for everything that the Trump administration do. I started this live out talking about the wins. I am here for how he's trying to save Americans on these medications and all this and that. Hell, these white Africaneers, hell, gonna need these benefits. These new people that got flued out, they finna be able to benefit off of these benefits. Like, he like, oh no, we gonna have to lower these prices right here because we can't be paying these prices for these people that just got flued out. We got to cut these prices. We got to cut these prices. But I'm saying, you just got to really look at it to where it's just like, what are we doing? Yes, I'm glad these prices are cut, but at the same time, you're still, spending the money on people that are not American, and we got a lot of American people who are down bad. I talked about over the weekend in Las Vegas. Did y'all know there are people literally living under the ground in Las Vegas? So y'all know that little strip that many of you may have walked probably more times than you can count. Underneath the ground, there are people. There is over 1,000 people who call that place home, who lives underneath underneath the ground. They're homeless. They've been there. Some of them been there. One guy, he said he'd been living underground for 5 years, since like 2020. He said because it started out how he wound up underneath there, underneath the ground, is because the homeless shelters was too full. The homeless shelter was too full, so he took notice of like people and where they were going. You know how you peep like, oh man, where they going? When he would see that people get turned away, and it led him to underground. And that's how, so the news, whatever I was watching, it was on YouTube. That, the news, they did a whole little, like, this ain't no made up ish. They went and interviewed the people, had the cameras, and it's like pitch black underneath there. But these people got, they got a little pallet set up underneath there, and this is just what they call home. And then I saw Slick Back Newsom, Governor Newsom. I call him Slick Back Newsom because y'all know that hair stayed laid. That hair stay laid. He out there trying to sign a bill or something to basically uh, penalize the homeless people who are out there laying on the sidewalks and stuff, because he's like, y'all blocking the walkways. I'm gonna need for y'all to raise up out of these streets. Y'all move. Get off these streets. I ain't gonna tell you no more. I'm not gonna tell you no more. Get up off these streets. So he's cracking down out there, uh, for in the cities in California, to get the homeless people. Like, y'all know, like tent cities. Y'all, any of you all live places where you'll see tent cities and things like that, where it's just a community and it's people living in tents. So he's trying to stop that. Where, okay, you can't gravitate here. You can't. Here's my thing. I understand why you want to stop it, how it's out of control, whatever. But my thing is, you talking about all this money that's the state of California getting to. How state of California getting to money like that in the billions, trillions, however much he said they was getting to it. But though your homelessness is out of control like that. Clearly, these people are on the streets in tent cities because they can't afford to go anywhere else. People just as a collective aren't choosing to live in a tent in California. No, I'm not convinced of that. No, they're priced out. They can't afford anything. They can't afford anything. So what we doing? What we doing? You can't spend up all the money, buy all the eco style gel in the world, and then be looking at the homeless talking about, like, why y'all out here on the streets, sir? Read the room. Read the room. Like, I really feel like he can be doing more. He can do more for the people in California. And that's my home state. I'm from California. I live in Georgia, but I'm from California. That man know that he can be doing a whole lot more for the locals there, but he's not. But he'll go and do a little commercial talking about, this man will talk about how California is getting to the money, but though you also talking about how the homeless people need to get out the way and get off the curves because it's an eyesore. It ain't cute. Like, they need to get up. This, really? Okay, well, help them out. Create more programs to where these people don't feel like they don't have to be on the streets, where they have options. There's resources that they have that can help them, just be a helping hand. Like, people fall on tough times. A lot of people are just one paycheck away from being homeless. And sometimes you fall so deep in a hole and so behind, it becomes so hard to get out of it. And then remember, we talked about the medical bills and all of that. A lot of people have fallen on bad times resulting from medical bills. The medical bills took them out. They done lost it all because their child became sick. They became sick. They lost their job. So now it's just like, okay, I got to choose between putting money on medicine or putting money on housing. Like, you at the crossroads where happen to make these decisions that you shouldn't have to make. Like, you all, literally, it costs to live, to breathe. Nothing is free. As you hear people saying nothing free, that is a true statement. That is a true statement. Nothing's free. Nothing is free. So the people who got off the plane, who got flued out yesterday, their experience here in the US, it's not free. As they talk about, oh, these student loans and forgiveness or whatever, it's not free. It's getting just shifted somewhere else. Well, that's exactly what's happening for, people who are foreigners that come here and use resources here. It's not free. It's the debt accumulates, that bill shifts, we pay it. We will be funding the lifestyles of these people as they get food, shelter, likely land, and things like that. We will be funding their lifestyles. And many of them are going to be living better lifestyles than a lot of people here in the US. I done told y'all what the homelessness is looking like on the West Coast, and that's just the West Coast. It's bad where I live here in Atlanta, Georgia. But I just shared the story that I saw on, centered around the West Coast, because Gavin Newsom, he just, did something, that he wrote or signed centered around homelessness and trying to get that under control, because a lot of some of the people, the local business owners and people there, they don't like seeing that. And I wouldn't want to see it either. But at the same time, when you know that the local government can be doing more that can help, see, that's a whole different conversation. Because if I know that, wow, like, I don't like seeing this, but I know the money is there to help these people, but they're choosing to put the money elsewhere, like line their pockets. Like, California is down bad, and it's so big. It's like, what is it, the biggest state? It's too big. It's getting too much money for them to have the struggles that they have. What are you doing? It's giving poor money management. It's giving poor leadership. It's given they may need to change out they daggone their party, because a lot of these Democrat states, y'all, they be down bad. Like, let's talk about it. Y'all know a lot of these Democrat states be down real bad. Y'all know they be down real bad. So what we doing? Where's the money going? Where's the money going? We need an audit. We need an audit. We need an audit. So that's what's going on in California, Las Vegas, homeless. The next time you're in Las Vegas, you walk in the strip, you're normally maybe looking up, stop and look down. And as you're walking on the sidewalk, and sometimes it'll have those little metal cover things along the ground. I don't know what you call it, but it's like holes. Basically, when you look underneath down there and you see the holes, okay, that's people's homes are down there. Yeah, it's out there. You can look it up. It's on the internet. People are living down there underneath the ground, over 1,200 as of the time that the story ran. It was over 1,200 people living down there, men and women. I didn't see any children, so I don't know if there's kids down there, but men and women are living down there. It's a whole little community underneath there. And a lot of them don't come, like, they don't really even leave from down there, or they may come up to try to, get some money, some food or something, but they pretty much kind of just stay down there. And they've been there for a long time. It's a sad situation, but it's a reality. But we having conversations about illegal immigrants and why they should be able to be here and why they should still be able to come and all of that. But I'm telling you about what's going on right here at home, the USA, which is where I live, home, which is where many of you may live. This is home. I feel like we should take care of home first before we start taking care of other people. Makes sense to me. You take care of home. Just like your own household. If somebody is hungry, you're going to make sure that the people in your house have food. And then after that, extras, you're like, hey, I got enough to share. But if you don't have enough to share, it's idiotic to give what you got to somebody else when you and yours don't even have enough. You see what I'm saying? It's just a common sense thing. It's just common sense. You got to take care of home first. And I feel like the US isn't motivated. They don't take I feel like the US don't take care of home first. We it's that's just not what we do. And that's why our debt looks the way it does. From years and years of not taking care of home first, but just helping everyone else out, other countries out. Like, this is just what we do. This is what we do. So Trump said, listen, so you damn right, I'm going to accept this plane from Qatar if they give me, because we've been taking care of folks. Yes, I will accept the plane. Yes. Yes, I will. Listen, Trump said he'd be stupid and not. Trump said he'd be stupid and not accept that plan, y'all. Qatar. He said now me personally, I don't feel like he should. It's a good, because y'all know ain't nothing free. You don't get something for nothing. So, listen, ladies, ain't nothing free. There's always something that's coming. So I don't feel like, there's nothing. It won't be with an expensive gift like that. What they say, it's like six worth about 600 million. Like, come on now, common sense. There is something that comes along with a gift like that. Like, even like how we know that this ain't even cool. Like, even just with me working in corporate and things, we learn about stuff of, okay, what types of gifts you can accept and things that's not. Listen, I know. Listen, accepting a $1 billion plane is not on the list of gifts that you can accept. I can't even accept $100 bottle of perfume. Like, it's just certain things that you can't do because it comes off as bribery. So Trump, like, listen, I would be stupid to not accept this plane. They trying to say it was donated to the Department of Homeland Security. But the part that gets me is, if that was the case, why, when you leave office, you saying you put it in your museum? That's given that, hell, since it's yours, you doing what you want to do with it. Because if it don't belong to you and it belongs to the Department of Homeland Security, then it would be there for the next presidents to come, right? If you're saying that it don't belong to you, it belongs to the Department of Homeland Security, how are you able to say, okay, when I leave, I'm taking it with me? If it's not yours, you take something with you that belongs to you. Biden didn't get no offer to get no plane. So, sir, this was an off. This is your plane. He said that one he on was on his last leg. He said that one he was on his last leg. He's sick of Bowen talking about, all right, then give us another 2 weeks. Bowen didn't 2 week him since probably the first time he was president. He's sick of Bowen talking about, all right, give us another 2 weeks. He was like, listen, it don't take that long. It don't take that long to build a new plane. What we doing? What we doing? So Qatar, like, yo, we got you, President Trump, we got you. They said that's like a hotel, luxury hotel in the sky. He said, we got you. Trump said, that 40-year-old plan, it's about this on its last leg. It got about 3 wheels. Mm-mm. So I understand if a new plane was needed, but I feel like it shouldn't have been one that was gifted from another nation. And especially too with when you think about just the history that we've had with these nations. And what today he landed in Saudi Arabia. Like, it hasn't been good blood. Like, it wasn't too long ago that they was damn gonna taking out our people. So I don't think it's a good look. But listen, he's saying it's all kosher. Well, Caroline said, listen, he abiding by the laws. He ain't breaking no rules or whatever. And Qatar know that Trump don't play them kind of games, so they know better than to think that they gonna get something. That's what she said. But I'm not convinced on that one. I did read something about, I think, something with his sons or something like that, trying to broker some deals or something over there centered around their businesses and things like that. So when I learned that, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's just not a good look. Sometimes, you got to just say no when something just don't look right. What they say, it's the optics. You got to know when to be like, oh, thanks, but I'll have to pass. It just, now, if he accepted it and all that after his term, that's something different. But while he's in office, and this was right before coming over there to have these meetings, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. I don't know. It's just not a good look. And when you are a leader of a nation, you have to be concerned about how things look. You can't be one of those, well, I don't care what people think or how it looks. No, 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 no. When you're a leader, you have to be concerned about how things look. How things look, how things are. Perception. You have to be concerned about perception. And right now with Trump, people already looking at him with the side eye with just how he's been handling things from a business perspective with the tariffs, the mass job cuts for government jobs. Like people are already looking at him side-eyed, thinking that he's just about just making the rich rich, lining his pockets. So then we hear that there's this plane that he accepts from Qatar. People, okay, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look. I think he should have just said thanks, but no thanks. It's beautiful, but I'll have to pass. I'll have to pass. I'll have to pass. To me, that's what makes the most sense with that. But listen, right now they didn't change their tone. Both countries are just saying that, oh, it was donated to. I think the narrative only changed because people were voicing opinions about it. So it changed from it being gifted to Trump to it being gifted to Homeland Security. But again, he's talking about when he leaves office, it going into his museum. This is something that's personal for him. So if it's gifted to Homeland Security, we have other presidents that are still going to need to be flued out. Why will they not have access to be able to use this plane? Listen, I'm just asking questions this Tuesday morning. Y'all like the video. I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. If it was gifted to Homeland Security for just how, I think he was like, the gift was back because of how we've been supportive of them, something. But I'm like, if y'all don't stop playing, if y'all do not stop playing, they know that man likes nice things. And to get his attention, you got to come correct. Them people already knew who they was working with. They was like, oh yes, we cannot half step with this one. We cannot half step with this, and we got to come correct. And we need when we coming at him with this. So therefore, whatever they plan to come at him in the future with, or if they what they've already come at him with, they already know, okay, we got a good chance that we gonna be able to work some now because we just did this. We did our big one. They said no other president have ever received such a lavish gift from another nation. No other country, what's up, Didi? No other country has ever received such a lavish gift because it's against the rules. Y'all know Trump gonna do what he gonna do. Trump gonna rewrite the rules or whatever, just like that they rewrote the rules in New York for AG Attorney General Leticia James. They done rewrote the rules for her. Folks be into listen, they rewrite the rules for the rich and elite, but they don't rewrite the rules for us. You get in time. Oh, you in Dollar General, let them see you can't steal a bag of Funyuns. Oh, go ahead. You can steal the bag of Funyuns and that sweet tea if you want to. You gonna get some time. Think you about to walk out of the Dollar General with them Funyuns and sweet tea, and you just stop by and check out. Oh, you getting sent up the creek expeditiously. So Attorney General, y'all remember she got the charges against her for the fraud, the mortgage fraud stuff. And she has legal fees. She got lawyers and everything. I don't know how many lawyers she got on her team, but y'all know lawyers aren't cheap, and she in New York. So y'all know everything is just times 10 in New York. So she got lawyered up, and so the state of New York rushed to have this bill it gets presented tomorrow, Wednesday. Where my New Yorkers at? Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this. So the local officials, the state government is presenting a bill uh, to increase the budget by over 262 billion. Let me see. They're needing to increase the budget because part of increasing the budget, 10 million of that budget is supposed to be designated for those who have legal fees in the event like that President Trump or his administration comes for you out of retaliation. The bill is saying that we will, as a state of New York, we will cover the costs. So they're asking for the new budget. The proposed budget is 254 billion with a B, $254 billion. So tomorrow, the state of New York, y'all New Yorkers, look into it. Tomorrow, the Democrats will present the new budget, and they're proposing a 254 million budget. Y'all, this budget is just for like the year. And then out of that, so if that's approved, then 10 million of that budget is set aside for legal fees. So in the case that you have to defend yourself from performing, your duties or whatever, somebody coming for you like Trump and everything, they're like, yo, politicians, we got you. You shouldn't have to use your own money to fight against somebody else who is coming for you because of you doing your job or whatever. But mind you, Trump or whoever, because she's saying it's Trump them coming for her, is centered around things that took place in her personal life. It's not centered around anything dealing with her career and her job as AG general. And the discussion is centered around the things that she's done in her personal life. Like, for example, going back to, I think, 1982, her and her father got a mortgage loan together. And she had her father referenced as her husband instead of her father for gain, for financial gain. It was fraud. I think, fast forward to in the 90s, I don't know if they did a refinance, they did something else, but he also was on there as her husband again. Then she purchased a house in, was it Virginia? I think it was Virginia. And her name was on the mortgage with a family member, I think a cousin. And she said that the property would be her primary residence. And that was a lie, because she still was holding her position as AG General in New York. And that requires for you to be a resident of the state of New York. So that was a lie, because y'all know a lot of times, your primary residence, or I think all the time, you get more of it's most beneficial. You get the better deal, the better interest rates, everything when it's your primary residence versus anything else. Then she purchased a property in New York. Uh, it was like a 5-unit type property. She had it listed on the paperwork as 4 units because it was a savings there with, I guess, in order for her to be able to uh, do the deal that she wanted, it couldn't be, I guess, above 4 units. The property couldn't be above 4 units. So she signed it. That's what it was. It was just 4. It was only 4 units versus 5. So what I've learned is that her attorney coming out saying, well, listen, she had just made some errors on her paperwork, but she since fixed it. So I guess the part where she said her daddy was a husband, y'all, that was a clerical error. She said, listen, I made a mistake. I accidentally checked the box with saying, that he was my husband. That was a mistake. Oh yeah, yeah, that the 4 is supposed. Yeah, her team, her defense is, we made some mistakes on the paperwork. We fixed it. So y'all just look at the updated paperwork. I'm curious to know, when were the corrections made? That's what I want to know. I would love to see the date of when the corrections were made. Were the corrections made in recent times? Where after someone took notice and said, okay, because remember, y'all, the guy who did the audit, did y'all see that? It was this guy, this white guy. He a felon, what you call it? I don't know if you call somebody who did time, are they a felon? I guess you a felon. I don't know if you do X in the front or just say felon. But anyway, he did some time. He got, he did some time, and he says he just audits government officials. Like, I don't know if he just got his own little business and he just do it just for whatever, but he was like, he just be auditing like the people. He just be wanting to know, because a lot of the information be public information out there. So he was like, I just be, auditing the people, just trying to see where the money going. He, like, I told you, this is a middle-aged white man. He like probably in his 50s. He like, listen, I'm just trying to see something. Where is this money going? And he said during his, audit that he does for everybody, all the, elected officials, he came across information on Leticia James. And he was like, my. He was like, y'all, they saying Trump behind. He was like, y'all, listen, I'm not even a Republican. I'm a Democrat. So he was like, I'm a Democrat. So this didn't even have nothing to do with the Trump team. This is just what I did. So I think what happened is that when the guy did his audit and kind of put it out there, the Trump team like jumped on it, was like, oh, sir, we got it from here. We'll take it from here. Y'all see what I'm saying? We'll take it from here. The guy did the homework. But then the Trump team, when they came, got aware of it like we did, they were like, oh, bet. Because I guess once he does his audits on these officials, I don't know if he got a website, what he does with the information, because I'd never seen this guy before. I didn't hear any stories centered around other people that he kind of did audits on where he released their information. But to me, it's given that he did the homework. The Trump team was like, yo, bet, we appreciate you. You are God sent. You are doing God's work. You are doing God's work. We got it from here. They may, maybe not, slid him a few dollars for his services. And then now, fast forward, Leticia James had to get lawyered up at the expense. Right now, it's looking like it's going to be at the expense of the New Yorkers. The bill, if it's approved and passed and all of that, is tomorrow. The sign off for the budget, it's tomorrow, Wednesday. So what is that? That's the 14th? May 14th. So y'all New Yorkers, y'all look into this, because y'all about to be paying her legal bills. You all are about to be paying Leticia James legal bills, and this is going to be a pretty, I, I don't know what it could end up in the millions. I don't know how far this is going to go with her fight in the court centered around this fraud stuff, but the New Yorkers basically are going to be on the hook for paying her legal bills. And I think that's jacked up. Like, that's just jacked up. It's just like, really? With her fight, it has nothing to do with her job. It's just that she's sitting in on, oh, well, he was just looking into my stuff because of what I did. Okay, regardless if that was the reasoning, are we going to skirt over the fact that something was found? Like, we're skirting over what was found and then just only going to focus on the person or why they started looking. That's irrelevant, man. That don't even matter now. That don't even matter now. Let's talk about what we found. This is centered around your personal life. This is not centered around your job as AG General. So why do the public have to pay for your fight? It's not like he got this suit against her of saying she wrongfully prosecuted me. Like, it's nothing centered around her job and what she did to him. This fight is centered around her personal decisions that she made in her life that were unethical as well as unlawful. This is what we're dealing with. Y'all get the nerve of her, RZA said. Y'all can get into all of this. She was like, listen, I ain't got it. Y'all know, y'all clearly didn't see in my paperwork, I got all these mortgages out here. So y'all know I ain't. She was like, listen, y'all know, y'all been in my business. Y'all know I got all these mortgages out here. So when I say I ain't got it, y'all should believe me, because y'all see I got all these mortgages out here. Leticia James gonna mess around and be in need of Section 8. And remember, I told you the plan is changing, and she gonna be waiting in that long line trying to get housing because she doing dumb stuff. And right now, Section 8, they was like, reason why a lot of people be in line for a long time for Section 8 is it's not because of them not having enough vouchers. They don't have enough homes. They don't have enough landlords who are signing up to participate with the program. Let me know in the comments, y'all, if any of y'all have ever participated with the Section 8 program as a landlord, your experience as just even being a tenant. And so the talks is that they need to make the deal more enticing for homeowners, because a lot of people, like, listen, the words on the curb, these folks in Section 8 be tearing up your stuff. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Do Section 8 folks be tearing up your stuff? My sister had her place on Section 8. I think she had only one tenant, but that person was there for like 3 years. They didn't wind up having to she didn't necessarily evict them, but she didn't renew the lease because the lady couldn't afford to pay her portion, her $300 portion of like a $1,100 mortgage bill. The lady portion was like $300 and the lady couldn't afford to pay it. So my sister did have to go in, take up all the carpet. I think she just ended up putting hardwood or whatever. So they said a lot of times with landlords, they spend a lot of money to returning the property over. So, after somebody moves out, you gotta get it back on the good foot before you get somebody else in. So that's why landlords like to have someone in the property for like a longer extended amount of time. So now that it's only going to be limited to 2 years that somebody can stay in the property, they said it may not be enticing for landlords because they're not going to want to have to continue. 2 years go by fast, really. Y'all know as we get older, that time fly by. Y'all know when we was kids, it seemed like it took forever for Christmas to come or for your birthday to come. But now you like, damn, I'm you say who 50? What? What, the eight things fly come faster, because we got responsibilities and things. So they're like, these landlords aren't going to want to have to be turning over their properties that every 2 years you got to go through the process, get somebody in. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. So that's not going to be enticing for people to want to be a part of the program for Section 8, even though it's damn near like guaranteed money. Like, but it's just like, it's all that comes along with it. It's all that comes along with it. So some people rather just find their own tenant or whatever than to deal with Section 8. Also, Section 8, it's an approval process. I remember like when my sister was trying to get her townhouse like to qualify for Section 8, they have to come and do like an inspection. Oh yeah, and if they're coming to do the inspection, the house has to be completely empty. Everything has to be up to a certain level for them, child. It's a process. It's a process that you don't have to go through if you just find your own tenant. So it has its pros and cons. But it is a process, and clearly it's just a lot of people that's just like not interested. So now with this change of Section 8, just look to just see a lot more people being interested in wanting to get the subsidized housing. But you may come to see that there are fewer people, fewer landlords who are interested in participating. So you're going to have more people interested in something with not, the inventory isn't going to be there to match. And right now they say it's long lines, for people to get the voucher and get housing to find a place to stay because of the limited inventory within the Section 8 program. Also, with the federal government wanting to pull back and not have HUD like pay into the Section 8 program, the money got to come from somewhere. So it hasn't been outlined yet with this plan on, okay, well, if the federal government isn't funding it or providing, doing it, where's the money coming from? So it's looked at the state level, just like with the Department of Education. So states are now going to have to figure out where the money is going to come from to because you have to have some affordable housing program for people. So it's going to come down to like, where is this money coming from? Where's the money coming from? Some states may feel like they have to raise taxes. So people who are not participating with Section 8, with the Section 8 program, will likely be impacted because the money got to come from somewhere. So if the state like, yo, listen, we got to pay for it now, just like with the whole education system and everything, we got to find the money somewhere. So we may start to see kind of on upcoming ballots when you're voting for your local constituents and all of that, you may see questions centered around that as far as with, do you approve for an extra tax to be added to cover subsidized housing, to cover education, things like that. This is what I look to see on future ballots at the polls where you vote on these ideas centered around, getting more money from people. Yeah, like, because it got to come from somewhere, right? It has to come from somewhere. So it hasn't been spelled out what it'll look like, but right now it's just a proposal with the Trump administration saying, hey, we want to kind of remove ourselves from the Section 8 program. Okay, Virtuous. We want to remove ourselves from the Section 8 program. So this is what's on the docket. This is what's on the docket. Good morning. Double tap the screen. How are you all? How are you all doing today? Happy Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. Trump got flew out to Saudi Arabia. Somebody in the comments, y'all let me know because I'll have to probably go back and find it. When Biden went over to Saudi Arabia, did them people not meet him at the plane? Because somebody in the comment, because they were talking about how nice of the treatment that the Saudi Arabian people, like, they just kind of did a big one for Trump and his team, his administration, everything. But somebody in the comment was like, "Y'all remember when Biden went over there and what nobody did nobody come out to greet him? Y'all, did that happen?" Y'all let me know. Y'all tell me in the comments. When Biden went over to Saudi Arabia, did them folks not come and greet him? Because everybody was out there waiting on Trump. Listen, everybody, you had the Saudi Arabia people out there, you had the American, the US soldiers lined up, and they, it looks like they the Navy SEAL, they had the black suit. Like, listen, everybody was there. They rode out the with the purple carpet. I think somebody said, "Ooh, they had a purple carpet." So did them folks make Biden walk out that day? Because y'all know Biden be falling and stuff. Did they not help that man down them steps and made him just make it do what it do on his own? I don't know. Y'all let me know. But somebody in the comments says they remember that it was a different type of experience when Biden went over there to that country. So, but yeah, so I saw the clip from when the plane landed. And the people greeted him and they walked in the building, and then Trump sat in one of the chairs. And so maybe I just later on today there may be some coverage centered around the conversations had between the gentlemen. It was men, male leaders and things like that. So yeah, I mean, they gave him a really nice warm welcome to him and his team. So it was a good look. From what I saw, they definitely were you can tell like they were just very happy to see him. They showed that they have a lot of respect for him. He got a treatment that he got a treatment that we all know Biden wasn't getting when he was in there. So uh, they definitely treated Trump well upon his arrival. I'm sure the entire time that he's there, they will give him the royal treatment. So that is good. But I need for somebody to talk about how Biden was treated when he went over there. OMG, like Lord Jesus. Y'all, speaking of when y'all ever seen that clip when Bush, so George Bush, so the son. So do we call daddy George W. Bush? What we call the son? Just Bush Jr. Y'all remember when Bush Jr. he was over at some country and he was standing up talking and one of them men took their shoes off and threw it at his. Do y'all remember? Don't act like I am the only one. That man was up there talking and somebody in the audience took their shoe off and threw it. He died. You know how you gotta. He did all that number. But what got me, y'all, is how slow his team reacted when that happened. It was almost given like they were just upset that when the guy threw the second shoe, he still missed. I'm like, what the freak is going on? That man took off both of his shoes and just threw them at that man's head while the security and them, they did not react, y'all, until after the second one came. I'm like, I felt like they was kind of waiting, hoping that that guy got one in, and when he effed it up and missed the second time, they was like, all right, then I guess we got to take you out now. But oh my God, like Trump getting a different type of treatment. I say all that to say that Trump gets a different type of treatment when he goes to these countries. It's just a different type of treatment. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Trump gets a different type of treatment. So, but Trump is known as a leader that stands on business. So, but he do be pissing me off. I am, feeling a way about this situation with these white South Africaneers. So I'm looking forward to when the leaders over there in South Africa come over to really, to like talk about things from their perspective or whatever, because they said that those are lies. Those are lies. That is not true. That is not true. That is not true. They're lies. And when I, move around and listen to different content creators, news outlets, like when y'all get into the comments, like a lot of people feel like, yeah, that's A lot of people I've seen, just going off of the comments, feel like, yes, this is just some type of, like, some people believe it's racist. It's just, this is some racist type stuff, because it's like, okay, these people with a white face, like, they're getting treated differently than those with the black or brown, the brown skin. So what's really going on? Because both groups of people have alleged to have had struggles, but one group of people, you're like, okay, we're taking your struggles, your cries seriously, and then the other group of people, it's just like, well, we we um we can't afford to support you. So I don't see how you move away from it being about race. How like I said, Karen and David out here speaking louder than everybody. The people, the white American people, are like, this right here, because a lot of them, they help out. They have these organizations centered around helping refugees and helping people get out of bad situations. Many of people who have been essayed, then being beat, assault, just abused in all types of ways, and it's proof and it's on record. And still, the response that they get from the current administration is, listen, we hear your cries, but we don't have the resources. We don't have the resources to fund your life here anymore. Like, we can't do it. We can't do it. Whereas now with the white South Africaneers, it's just like, now suddenly we can do it, because they're getting their land taken away. Um, they're getting killed, like, all this stuff. It's just like, okay, where's the proof? Like, what are you backing this with? Like, I've yet to, I haven't heard, like, anybody outside of the South Africaneers speak on this to say, yes, this is like, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's giving, you owe Elon a solid. Elon said, listen, I did my brand and took one for the team by doing this Doge stuff. So this is what I want from you, President Trump. This is what I'd like for you to do. What I like for you to do is allow my first, second, third, fourth, and fifth cousins to come over here to the USA. This is just what I'm asking. If you can do this for me, I'll fund your campaign. I'll help with Doge, all of that. Because y'all, they say, I think Elon donated like in the trillions. He donated the most. He was like the biggest donor, I believe, for the, I don't know who else would have outdid him when it came to the Trump administration. But I didn't even know that Elon had donated that type of money, until after Trump had won. But yeah, Elon was like a really big donor. And then Elon came in and he helped, he was over with the Doge and stuff. So really, y'all, like, really, when you think about it, what did Elon get out of all of that? Like, really think about it. We're going to use common sense and discernment here. Elon donated, let's just say, trillions. Y'all can put it in the comments, the amount of money that Elon donated. I believe it was in the trillions. Elon donated trillions to the Trump campaign when he ran for president, uh, for this last term. And Elon heads Doge, which we've all seen in the news, and I've recovered it repeatedly on this channel about how his company have lost billions. They say this man, I think they say he losing about $1 billion a month, some crazy stupid number. What have Elon got out of this? Like, what have Elon got out of this? Like, y'all really think about, use common sense and discernment. When somebody is putting out trillions of dollars, then they're doing a job that is saying that he's not getting paid from, but his brand is taking a hit. Y'all can't convince me that there isn't some way that Elon is able to get a win or benefit from as a token of gratitude. What, y'all think he just sitting on just a thank you from Trump? Or Trump buying one of his vehicles, and Trump bought the cheapest one. That thing was like 20 some thousand. Trump did buy the cheapest one that was on that lawn that day. I remember that part. Do y'all really think that Elon just was doing all of this stuff and there was nothing that at some point that he will want in return? Like, really think, y'all, come on, it's Tuesday. I know it's early. Put your thinking caps on. We are honor students over here. If you are a subscriber to this channel, you are officially an honor student. If you are a member, If you have a membership, it's $2.99. The Temu price is $2.99. You will be a political honor student. We ask questions over here. We elevate. We seek out information. You cannot make me believe that this man signed up to give out all that money and taint his brand for nothing. I believe that a solid was done for Elon with letting the white South Africaners come over here. That is what Elon is. These are his folks. Try to convince me why that doesn't make sense in the comments. It makes sense. It makes sense. He's like, yo, this is what I want. This is all I'm asking for. Can you just let them come over here? They're hard work. They're this, they're that, whatever. Whatever he sold them on. And Trump was like, all right, then, bet. I'll do it. And they painted this narrative as though these people were getting used and abused and being robbed and all of that in order to convince people of why they were able to skip the line and come over here before other people. When other people got the hard stop, the hard no, because remember, he said, we ain't got it. But this group of people are the only group of people that do not have to adhere to the executive order where he said we're not allowing people to come over here until whenever hell he release it. Come release it. Elon got more than that, but that's just I'm just starting somewhere. That man gave trillions. Think about it. The average person, if you're giving out that much, ain't no way you're not looking for something in return. Something. Elon don't need money. So I wouldn't look for Elon to be looking for money from Trump if he's giving him trillions of dollars for a campaign. He's looking for solids. He's looking for favors for his people. He's looking for this man to do something that he can't do. Because regardless of how long Elon's money is, Elon can't move those people over here. He can't bring those people over here like that. But what he's done, he's invested in somebody who has the ability to do so. It's strategic. It's strategy. It's strategy. It was strategy. And from the beginning, because at one point, Elon and Trump didn't even feel each other like that. Trump used to slick talk, make little slick comments about Twitter. It wasn't that long ago that they wasn't like that. It was not that long ago that they were not like, they weren't like that. Remember, Trump used to talk bad about the electrical vehicles. Like, who the hell want electrical? He would talk greasy about the product. Now he doing commercial ads on the lawn in front of the White House. He buying cars. He's slanging cars. He's slanging Teslas on the White House. He's trying to buy one. He's trying to be like Oprah's favorite things. You can have one. You can have one. It wasn't that long where he was talking greasy about Elon's product, whether it be the vehicles, his social media platform. But now they're buddy. Elon's not an idiot. You can't be getting to the money like that and be a village idiot. So we're not going to say he's an idiot. To be a smart business person, you have to be a strategist. You have to be able to be very strategic. Like you got to be able to be forward thinking. I believe that Elon had a plan all along. It was a plan. Let me become warm and fuzzy with Trump to get in a good place with him, to be able to convince him to allow white South Africans to come over here. Listen, let me know in the chat, what are your thoughts centered around that? Because it's not just me who's thinking this way. A lot of people are thinking this way because it makes sense. It does, and nothing else makes sense. He owes Elon. And y'all think that Elon ain't reminding him of that? Elon's brand took a hit. Elon has lost so much money. Hell, Elon owned companies trying to vote him out of his position. Y'all know you down bad when your own company's like, yep, I know this your company, you started or whatever, but we as the board don't want you no more as the CEO. We need somebody else. Like, yeah, Trump owed this man. Trump owed this man. Elon probably telling him, listen, sir, you know you would not be able to be here without me. huh, let's talk about it. Elon probably be giving him the look. You know, sometimes you get somebody to look, you tilt your head, you ain't even got to say the words. Trump no. Trump no. So Trump gotta listen. Elon on his way out too. What he talking about at the end of what? Elon that put his little 30 days notice in last month. So I think this month should be the last month of Elon doing the little Doge stuff. He said he'd be around if needed. Maybe have a presence, maybe once or twice a week or whatever. But he gonna fall back and get back into his business and trying to, I guess, get that out the pits of hell because his numbers have gone drastically down. So he got his work cut out for him. But I'm sure as he, because remember he living at Mar-a-Lago with his son. I'm sure him and little X walking around looking, reminding Trump like, little X talking about, you know what my daddy did, right? You know you only here because of my daddy, right? Y'all know how them kids be, them slick mouth kids be. X kids, like he one of them kids, like, didn't he tell me? I think X had told him one time in the White House, "You're not the president. You're not the president." So listen, Trump, he like, listen, you owe my daddy. My daddy, the real president. You owe my daddy. So Trump got to pay like